two parties are dominating politics for 32 years. Mosa a person mobatna abem. Aka 6 months. Na ye kwa kotoaba. Muni plan. Na mo plan kra adenti na mo fa ntuga. Na mo kra mo musima ye bi danie. Under 6 months to election. Muti me fa mo plan mbae. Never konya man dia na ye be gina so a ye be nse mo ba. Mo ba ye. Ade susu ye ma mo tumi 32 years. The damu odun somu. Ye sika sema nye ye call IMF. Up to now, even provision of potable water kra obi wa ne tap kra nsuo famu for almost 10-15 years ni. I don't think maybe the American say me say me kopra konya ni bidia me plana me dey by ni.
Okay, say what is 32 years na mo san akobiem na obi amfa ne plan emai obi kan say na plan no adien ene be yama o mantia ehia ma say of the two parties no 32 years of democratic dispensation no ye de plan eba
na udi nkomo bi me hu say me tie na wo sha ase wo say ene obi sori a wo say my political statement obi susu ne de ne wo say manifesto alan susu ne de ne ye a plan na open nchechiremu nti won say me tie na me de ba me say asem bia ne nti ase ne nchechiremu and manifesto party bi ni aspiration HSS mutu abamano this is what he aspires to do in government na anunti na time bia no uko udi wa ho den nyina ko gina manifesto so and how do ore nyina ko sia share manifesto mu a ebedu ba bi no na ya do hwamo if he say because aspirations a statement of intentions aspirations no and no come now count with the promises bibia ni wa attach the betman who say sa promise obetma deliver typically that's what a manifesto is and nontina ukaya on say a statement of promises and no me to say doctor empokan or the adjective bi so for eka ho na obisusu ebetma ka say my speech Anna in the speech there's a policy statement in the speech etibeti say mra say mra na obisa omo eba ha ne ba say na asem no ex-president Mahama former president Mahama na a policy na say a speech bi no ma musa na obisa musa me de said the doctor Kwancha on ka say or say obi apese obedi o man so no you must have a plan because plan on your bet match say the mawa what the capacity to take certain decisions na plan on the bet say e kwan obefa so a ubetimi ebu man no eno na in the plan
first president of the Republic of Ghana 1960 Kwame Nkrumah ubebu say na properly na in 1963 or a 7-year development plan from 63 to end at 1970 our two din work and happiness no na dia na no peso ye
na opese o magana fo no ti say nyese na nisu ade ehu keke na emom no die obeya ebetumi ama ni vision na nisu ade ehu no ebetumi abamu no eno no di tintim krata so na 7-year development plan and was the ultimate the obenya free muno or the touch was say this is going to lead to work
and happiness
and nonti usha me dia mafaso the same thing on say doctor can be say won't me nya plan ka say plan wo trim ni enyina so nto amama any serious plan that is worth following must be documented. Until I maybe the abbey. And to come and quite no, they say, year development plan. And I'm assuming the media about great transformational plan. Now, you see, a prophet is not acceptable in his own home. So say, who say artificial intelligence here. And no any I to say the global information repository. Say at least be no intimate woman. Say who use artificial intelligence. Now can say what is the great transformational plan? It will come direct to Alan Chematin.
Yes,
and that is a major development.
The A1 accepted and then would push Alan Chematin when you want to find out more about the great transformational plan.
Say, nka baby anka utu bibi dia, u brandi bibia. Answer ne betime nyanyina so because China no omusi mu, America omusi mu, ayiru nyina omusi mu nyina. Say bibia wo ya utu ne din. Na say Alan ebetime di bibia ba no say this is the great transformational plan. Now artificial intelligence etimi confirm say the great transformational plan is originated by Alan Chematin of Ghana.
It's patented. They just say more or less after the Second World War, we had the Marshall Plan.
Yes, artificial intelligence obetimi ascribe to you. Say we and the author and answer of the. Now say and obia afekran say you me pa huntumo. Now artificial intelligence etimi ascribe the great transfer, the beauty of the branding. Not make us say this plan is the plan of a Ghanaian. Oh, and just say what is happening? Make come once, Mr. Ghana for say.
Mibisa meter A1.
Yes. Meter
AI.
Artificial intelligence.
AI. No, see the question was the Great Transformation Plan, 2:30 p.m. and Ebusa meter AI, right?
Artificial intelligence.
And now, see the Great Transformation Plan, GTP, is a plan that was launched by Alan Chematin, the leader of the movement for change, to serve as a game changer for Ghana's economic woes. The GTP is characterized into 6 clusters: economic. This includes reviewing foreign exchange bureau, limiting the use of foreign currency, increasing the supply of foreign exchange, and promoting exports. Governance. This includes supporting private sector development infrastructure. This includes accelerating the implementation of strategic industries, social services. No additional details has been provided. Environment. No additional details have been provided. Science and technology. No additional details have been provided. Natural resources. No additional details have been provided. Behavioral and mindset change. Also, no additional plan. Meanwhile, he takes you through to a picture. Alan says Great Transformation Plan, and then it will take you to the Great Transformation Plan. This is what AI, artificial intelligence, worker ade efa yehon. This is just the beginning, and we will go further to find out more. The Great Transformation Plan. No, na yenwuram na yenni yehon komo. Further information from AI. Or see Alan Chematin, leader of the movement for change, introduced the Great Transformation Plan. The plan is an all-encompassing blueprint for Ghana's future that outlines visionary initiatives across critical sectors, including agriculture, tourism, governance, infrastructure, and more. The GTP is categorized into 6 interrelated clusters: economic, governance, infrastructure, social services, environment, science and technology, natural resource management and behavioral, and mindset change. That is AI. And now, all acknowledging the Great Transformation Plan. Now, Great Transformation Plan, yes, and what you are the way. See, about Tianwasia, the Kaibakuyachi in the 2000s. Now, the UN then, a Millennium Development Goals. And about 8 goals, and yefefe. Na about 48 indicators. And I was saying, yes, na 18 targets. And suddenly about drew the 8 goals. Sadia na UN eye no. Ye the great transformation plan ni eto hwa. E dia ni ye nhwe to see the demonstrable track no.
Yes. Say Millennium Development Goals are UN edibaye no. Eye broad goals are. And no one more can say we must aspire to these goals. And the OSHA one more amount different goals are
8 of them.
8 of them in different areas. Yes. Go 1, go 2, go 3.
Poverty eradication and go 1.
Poverty eradication, it is an aspiration. So what I say, this is what we must aspire to eradicate poverty. It doesn't tell you how to eradicate poverty. It only tells you, say, this is an aspirational. As I say, we must aspire to eradicate
on my
poverty.
World Bank definition of poverty, and on my Japan for definition of poverty, and on my America for definition of poverty, and of what to us.
And we'll say, aspiration there should be indicators. I bet you say, who drew this pointer? Now I say you are 10% into it. Who drew say amount? But we find say targets. Which achieve some milestones now. No, we do stage here. We can say, I feel my achieve the first Millennium Development Goal of poverty eradication. And today do we almost say, if you are country A, well only 60%, will be also or 10%.
Because some indicators, no, normally is what do target na. From target no go na.
The indicators are the milestones to arrive at
the target
goal and the target. And no, a broad framework of aspirations. It's over Ghana. Na se wo say yemfa omai no 2 million. You must produce a plan that allows you to lead the country to achieve the Millennium Development Goals. And it's a only planner. A better no achieve our goals. Because the MDGs, are actually a transition into SDGs. They don't tell you what you have to do because they don't have any authority. Say now, because we are yes, but on the bit much say Kaudu Hankeye. And Kaudu Hankeye. And
this is the architecture. No, Yamra said, what is the architecture of the Great Transformation Plan? No,
so the Great Transformation Plan it shows for us to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, we have to have policies in 6 different cluster areas.
The 6 clusters.
6 clusters. 1, economy. 2, so one way here one.
Governance, economy.
First cluster economy. 2 governance. And 3 infrastructure development. And 4 social services. And 5 environment and then natural resource management.
As environment, science and technology and natural resources.
Natural resource management. And 4 behavioral
and 6
behavioral and mindset change. So this structure now is providing you with clarity. It's a framework way there. It covers every single thing that you need to do to be able to achieve your MDGs. Say ukoyi bibi frimu. Say dia u class we can one can education once more. Untimi achieve MDG goal number 6. Say a natural resource management.
It's a prerequisite.
You need a plan to achieve the MDGs. Na enti enono na ma to me boase pa me se me nyi brim film. The 6 different cluster areas, covers everything that you can.
You remember the cluster areas, but then what you should be, we say 24-hour economy, and then you are talking about building an enterprise economy in Ghana. Yeah. Enterprise economy, yet enterprise Africa, the anti-enterprise economy.
Yeah, so Osha, I just say, GTP, is telling you, say, if you follow the path of the GTP now, you would end with an enterprise economy. The enterprise economy, the characteristics, now proper in India, one, private enterprise. 2, innovation. And 3, entrepreneurship. Oh, and it's not just quite to say, if you are able to have these features in your economy now, then you have an enterprise-driven economy. Now, if we say the top performing economies are all enterprise economies. And it's a artificial intelligence. The countries are almost the classic examples of an enterprise economy. Now, when we say we are talking about stability, growth, resilience, and prosperity. If you say in Ghana, we are in a state of instability. We are in a period or state of instability. Until we hear planner, it will move us from instability to stability. That's stage 1. Now, on the back of stability, I say we have policies and now planner a bit me do a free stability to growth. Now you don't end with growth because this is the problem at Ghana. I'm saying a problem, no. From stability to growth, you don't stay there because you can have growth that is not resilient. So growth and you're resilient, So when you external or domestic shocks, you go back to instability. This is what has happened in Ghana.
It growth and
resilient.
You go back to Ghana.
Yes.
In the middle 80s.
Yeah.
Economic recovery program. Enhanced economic recovery program. So the idea at the time was by 1992, Ghana would have reached a leveler
of stability.
Stability.
Macroeconomic stability.
No, you take you off.
But the gap, and I said, the Fanupo say, the deficiency with that economic paradigm, and then say, it was only focusing on stability. I would say, if you are depending on IMF and our international development agencies, Obia will grow economy for you. What the IMF can do to support you is to restore macroeconomic stability. They can't promise you anything above that. And so if social circumstances, now we were in a state of instability, IMF, the only thing they can do for you is to help you to come to, I say, we are negative. If you come to ground zero,
preparing to take off.
Preparing to take off, and then stabilization phase.
And the Neno was to my balance of payment support. I hope in say by 2025, now what me achieve a year stability. No, what next?
Say, when to me answer that question, say what next? After which he achieve stability, what next? The next stage is growth. Now, Ghana for a dear back where the CVH and he say, time ye be program of stabilization. You do a political parties in Vietnam, and we are achieving 7% growth. Yeah, say that growth now come with stability. A marginal growth. The team will be a say, and say, but a nice say, be a one in a so be a bit me.
Otherwise, put a cast of transformational.
And yet transformational. And nunti say be shock be bow system mupe. We won't say what's our coachi. And it is a open say unya the growth that comes with jobs, the growth that can withstand external and domestic shocks. Then that growth must be resilient. And to nature say, some fans say if you were growing at 7%. Who grow at 7% for 2 years, Man can say you have a strong economy. You have to grow consistently above 10% for almost 10 years.
Let's just say tangent, we should know where you are heading.
You're heading. And after that, say your growth is resilient. And the characteristics are of normal obeya ebe to move from growth to resilience now. And only that's the key. Because when to me I'm go beyond growth to resilience. And no a small dislocation be bad. Now come back to stability. And now to your Ghana. Yes, you start here no. Now you free IMF, you have IMF program. So okay. NDC landed us with IMF.
Homegrown policies.
Now
post-century.
Now the IMF program NDC implemented. It was only meant to help us stabilize. And the NPP about 2017.
Nada who NPP ni.
Me say NPP at that time. NPP buy 2017 omo take over no. They moved Ghana to the point where after 2 years then macro stability na IMF sika no no. But the mistake that we made in this from that growth,
the mistake NPP made at the time.
No, I said, me a founding member. Me a founding member. My bomuka, and me nyansa until make us after that, the NPP should have moved us to the next stage, which is sustained growth. Now, sustained growth, and the Bema resilience, because that did not happen. When there is a shock, either domestic or external,
Ukraine, Russia,
then it will destabilize you.
Okay.
Because when the shock absorbers, now the MEN say, now at that point, Ministry of Finance for no crowd, now say, say, if you have not moved beyond just
growth to resilience now,
now, so BB happen, you go back to instability. This is exactly what has happened. And no, Anna, I see enya addition be free mu say. Tama MPP, no me say oh, achieve 7% growth 2017, 2018. Ya achieve sa growth no. Na enya resilient growth. And if we are taking steps to move our growth to resilience now, and shocks now Ukraine and Bayern, it will not move us so rapidly.
Tinana finance ministry and Tinana finance ministry in Tiasia and answer it was lack of appreciation of an answer unforeseen contingency. Now you nimsebeba. No,
but can you predict global shocks? You can't. You cannot predict global shocks. Ukraine war, your friends say Ukraine, Russia war, COVID. Say Ghana pen 2 years. To baby, those economies that had resilient growth were the ones who were able to absorb the shocks.
Because now they've gone beyond just growth to resilience.
Yes.
And that is why be done consistently over years.
That is why the IMF and the World Bank and the development partners should not be deceiving us. Emma and Kikansa Museo. We are bouncing back, we are recovering. Now, I'm not going to produce our need to me. Yes, they said, yeah, we've come back to it. Because by the time I said, Yetimika say, I feel we've gone beyond growth to resilience. And no, Anna Ubewun say, even if another shock occurs, you won't go back to instability. Now, if you are able to sustain your resilient growth now, then you lose to prosperity.
See, Yani Ora Alan John Christ-like Kojo Tremating and Edin Komo Abrawa launche the Great Transformation Plan. That's ye tiena semi ya or say I'm a fufwe bebemua or mubabe buayen Emma yetimi ya diabenia or mubabuayen Emma yetimi achieve growth and to grow
stability and growth
stability. Na ya achieve stability na let us think growth the growth over a period of say up to say 10 years you would have achieved resilience. There's a resilience in a bar afena prosperity and I bet to us until ne wakwa ya planner presumably say from 2025 IMF of one say balance of payment support from the amay. You bet me achieve growth of say dot. No growth no and was the great transformation plan. I was said yeah quite nim. I mean to me achieve sa growth naturally. Ebe resilient. Na sa resilient na be shock absorbers. Ama unforeseen contingency BBC we ase be a na shocks no kura ba na yeden atimi akurakura yen. Na resilience naturally no. Na just say prosperity aba.
Yes, I know na say within 10 years. Alan Chamatin ebe president. I don't even need say mekumanim say me here even 8 years. Within that 4 years first time no crano, the building blocks for resilience and prosperity would have been established. Until from 2025 to 2035, that prosperity now make one seven.
We bedru. When the fundamentals
say and then make say if say when to me anya planner
building blocks
building blocks are and when say Rebecca say your fundamentals are still weak. Oh, you will be a fair jobless growth. You can be growing at 7%. But sa growth a fair marginal growth. A incremental growth. A linear growth. And a growth a significant. But for you to be able to absorb shocks now, as I say, we are no media. A bit me move from growth to resilience. That is the value of this plan because a chair will say, for you to move from stability to growth to resilience, you must have industrial transformation. For you to move from growth to resilience, to prosperity, you must have agricultural revolution.
Okay.
Answer na sa economic progress in Bebano. You need a governance architecture there. A bit more support to your movement from growth to resilience to because you need a governance architecture. A bit more support to your movement from instability to stability to growth. Your governance architecture could take you back to instability. Now, and no soon a bit more will say just. It's not just a question of governance. So we need infrastructure to support Adena wo yena. Untimi move from stability to growth.
Okay.
You need an infrastructure program to support your growth.
Moving from instability to stability, then to growth. No, to complement what is happening.
And different things. A bit industrial transformation.
Yeah, clusters because because I was
there has to be a philosophical understanding of again. Now, have philosophical understanding now. And I will say, Papa, me to a say, I just want him baby oko. And now, want him to obey.
And what you're there, Daniel O. Peterson. Or say, what you have. I say, I'm a wisdom. I say, I'm for NDC. Honestly, but this man is full of wisdom. NDC wouldn't have allowed this man to go. That is a fact. I say, his plan, to my understanding, is the best ever. Despite, on baby, I did by you. Na ubebusa say, oh, by yes, our plan way. Na, what can radio so bad now, what we, next when in 2023, in your address to the whole country, you can say what the Alarm Prime Time Show, Ebeba. Now, I didn't know when to mean your beer. Ube to me over weeks. Now, one casa sustained a year. Ube cheche mako, Tabrofumo, Takan Casa.
One said, Doctor, no kind. We interviewed on ya. Or say, I know a beya Juma. Say Alan any media for no. It be a back because this is not for the benefit of Alan. This is for the benefit of the country. Now say, menya sa kwenyano with the media now. Sa chechimu ebede. Inti eno ni egusu eye. Na jenti a man front load in time. Man fan man time ni say. Say we launch the plan first. Now we are. And son walk back. I could church Musa. na plan no kra wonye na ko launch and now ko cheche di mu.
Okay,
it is the right time.
Yeah. And the right time means that yentimi and set the right platform and also so yenye honti ase no be am negative to be so and derailing. And then that negative na bit me the derailing.
Now Ghana for no Emma had an opportunity no mra na ne plan or the ban on be implemented.
Na ansa na be man opportunity amana ba no obi tinchen a emfie nsunie na owom. Tell us, what is the role of the cabinet subcommittee on economics and then the role of the economic management team?
Economic management team no atamels breso na ewo ho ono wo different name and not or different no and a composition is different. But na Akufo-Addo abreso economic management team headed by the vice president, ministers, finance, trade ni ayuno kan. Now, I know the most important vehicle President Akufo-Addo say operation or use to chart a path forward, particularly for the economy. It's an economic management team. She's a vice president or chairman of economic management team. To make a say, I say, only role in charting that path. No? If he say, Anya Krano, that's the responsibility of the economic management team. Now, cabinet today, be a decision be a government didn't be taken. It finally goes to cabinet. Now, there were subcommittees of cabinet. Say, be called cabinet. The preliminary work, no, and making sure, say, documentation parliament cabinet it is properly prepared. Say they acquire a cabinet now. Cabinet me I take a decision. And subcommittees of cabinet.
It is somebody could not reasonably say na economic subcommittee on cabinet would to me say economic management team
and there's a propaganda no more. Now, in all sincerity, we then come advice to Dr. Bawumia say he was given the responsibility. Now, say Nuntina, President Akufo-Addo cry, the car say, or no, Ojide will not so bit my. As head of the economic management team, I was a vice president. Tidiane Bekoswa, ubetimi akase uni to me. We are minister, they are different too. The governance architecture cannot give you as a single minister the authority to make any final decision. It doesn't happen. It has never happened anywhere. But we are vice president. You are basically, it's almost like one ticket. Vice president, the president. It's almost like one ticket. Anna, Dr. Bawumia there. I'm going to say, Anya Krano, say, or money penny who say, President Akufo-Addo man all the opportunity to be able to use his, to
the acumen, if indeed he had it.
But anyway, fast forward. I don't know.
Back to the issue of the 6-year clusters and the first of the cluster the economy. No, the economy cluster no, and I was 11. Subheadings within it.
Yeah.
In the 11th subsector, I would say expenditure management and control, we see revenue optimization, we see lower taxes and duties, we see stable currency, we see low inflation, we see low competitive interest rate, debt sustainability management, increasing financing for SMEs, small, medium enterprises, reforms in the cocoa sector financing, deepening capital markets and financial intermediation, improving labor productivity. Sadia 11-year kind of tell us what happens in the economy as in the economic cluster.
Say answer me ko details no. The second of phone na ti say amambuo no nyina agina economy no so. Eye kwa abefa so abesi say usikasem. It is the most important pillar of any economy. And unti ana se wo hwa President Mahama, former President Mahama, 2016, on said na was it why infrastructure, why a number bebre, until now I am very confident. Say Ghana for Juma now I and so Koto Abanu this year. If you say the economy no and the state of the economy no, and no affected the majority of the people. No. Not the state of the economy no did not justify say they will return NDC to power. And the infrastructure na Ghana for Jina so de to aba.
At the time you say infrastructure.
Yeah, no Mujina so de to aba. The economy. Once a fast forward, NPP enya chance. Free SHS aba. Ya keka no money bebre. But one will say afei ekwa wiye no because the economy is bad and because we are in crisis. No abanu aja to mu say enkoye.
As my can say we also ye be po abu.
Na abai after me can we president, other ministers, vice president, what who be o makasa omo acknowledge da. Say economy no we are in difficulties. Now you're in difficulty, I will copy IMF coherent. Say usika sem correct no any problem. We can copy IMF. And the American question is the economy is what determines the quality of governance in the long run. We're not affecting the panel. Say me fan say amount for Ghana for Kotoaba. And you interchange any agenda 111 hospitals and I for you eco so Kotoaba. The economy no.
Economy so now we say free instability, no about stability, no about growth, no resilience, no about be prosperity. And I'm sweet.
And nunti na adiano man cannot track a economy. What about the economy? Anna say unya who nimdia any society eba. Anna mabomodi achichem nem poso no enine. Bako macro economy na ankasa. Ansa na waba industry. Ansa na waba agriculture. Ansa na waba tourism. And only the four main pillars. No?
The macroeconomy, industrial transformation, a new agricultural revolution, and tourism.
Into what economy? Some pillars in nine. And so which Ghana for the obey in each of them.
No jina pinting.
No jina pinting. No nebechere. So what to make a macroeconomy once them want to me and agriculture once them they shouldn't trust you. If it's a macroeconomy interrelated. It's a macroeconomy no. And no and I work on once them. Expenditure and management control. How are you controlling your expenditure? Revenue optimization. So if unya revenue, why revenue? Sikaba now they ever cover our expenditure. I say UTF. You don't have an income.
I can own such or them firm.
Now, say, you grab a job. Hey, ora, now you mana. Say UTF. What say, what dear, when you are?
I will know him.
Anna, what do you? I better have a cousin. When you are who couldn't retrieve I said, okay. There's a what if you know I was our boss, my champion. What's our address?
When you are winning
the American say
step by step. There's the economy. Yeah, share a macroeconomy, no. And industrial transformation, which new agricultural revolution, which and tourism, which it's the macroeconomy. And you can see. Number one, expenditure control. Number two, revenue. Number three, taxes. Number four, stable currency. Number five, inflation. Now, we back from and he started with expenditure management control. Then I make an. But the overall
because expenditure it means if you are overspending, only income to back it up. And so to fill the gap. Say only income, but you want to spend it there. And you so what if you say who say only income? Now so per se would you have been quiet a year richer? Says Okobobusia, and so na what me
abuzi apen so inflation ne baaye na kafu didi na sata muntus Kofi Badu chief of staff mentia no graphic and was kafu didi
hey no kafu didi no one time bill
but oni abankwai kafu didi but oni abankwai
Dati say no yenya time and go through but if say a popo no and I make kind of fast.
Now promise me say
yes.
One kasa betena se na one kasa usho bi na abeye the
first baba ye che o me nya wakame me baba ye no ma mienu. Ba ko your friend time with Alan. 1 hour.
1 hour.
And the local language.
Akankasa no.
Akankasa no. Na de makanya me chire mu ama obi ase from the economy to governance to infrastructure to social services. Every show be an one a year mefa. No ye twi. Time with Alan. Alan prime show so no. No ye broadcast. We need a radio. Time with Alan. It is Tuesday be 1 o'clock. Alan be kasa. Na say 1 hour no. What the church GTP no many. Na no obi aso na titwi. Enti your brofo dia eno ye Alarm Prime show. Chese eno so no meba eno ye television. Na meba be church musa no many every say ora say me so say do ye wadwuma yi. Say me ka say me no go through way a. Tie ye hia be 5 hours.
Which is where
the make say wa tutum na areas bi a opese me focus on.
And you say macroeconomy because you see economic class ano that class no mo no normal 9 the macroeconomy and industrial transformation, new agricultural revolution and the tourism. Baby here stable currency, low inflation and low competitive interest currency lower taxes, lower inflation, competitive interest rate. Sa normal 9 way.
And you remember Bosu tell
farmer papa
local currency. One say obi esu na dollar say no.
Owunya maye na wo kire kwa be fa sa bebu man no. Sa tu nia no kohwe na be wa
na de hia pa ni say on say me say we gospel according to Alan. There is a Bible. So say John 1 chapter 1 e ho na obehu sama John Okaye on the stable currency. Into
John for no the gospel according to Saint John.
Saint John was a Christ like John. Number 1, they say there was short term, medium term, long term. If you say your currency regional, short term no. They say review the operations of foreign exchange bureaus. Identity. There are 3 ways of foreign exchange. You trade foreign exchange. Bako you through the central bank of Ghana. Bako you through forex bureaus. The third one black market. That the open say and only the 3 sources
of foreign exchange
trading. Central bank the any day. Oman managing over all. So they can control it. Forex bureau omo ye licensed by the central bank. But say one control omo operations they can affect the stability of your currency. If you say oh your forex bureau owner, you are trading in currency. Say net dollar ye 15 now. Say who bet me determine say for dollar brame na mema 18 for what do over $10 mamia instead of 15 no echina mema 18 cedis to $1.
It is a speculative
no speculative trading now. One who bet me a gauge akase David I didn't say the normal see kono.
No muti achire say ade.
No say no say so who say what do dollar buy na 15 by the china make me 16. Now obi susu ne dia o say agwai say ono o say obi tua 16 for $1 no.
Obi tua 16.5.
Obi tua 16.5. Now obi susu 17 to so obi achocho ne dia on board so no. If he say oh yeah obenya more dollar. Because who are do dollar go bet you more. Na oya na say ono no susu ton wa so on ton
da bi odi bi atoso
ono si bi atoso enti by the time how be ya aware no
na agye nsam
na chese agye nsam if you say omo na control the trading of foreign currency
press bureau for no
na central bank there o pe dollar o ko central bank
debi
arakabe o pe dollar central bank na o ko o ko central bank o nya forex bureau
forex bureau ana agye amene net for mo
until that is the first thing say we need an oversight and proper understanding
of the operations now
normal a control economy no and say we are minister of finance na unti ase a ebeju nsem it currency no that's number one
yeah
a speculative trading number two so say the can one will say who export to a foreign exchange nti ye kapa dia anyenka obi a we export to bia no there are regulations say ukoton
yakoton cocoa
abrochira cocoa po dey say aban na ukoton it dey fan say
akoton fruits abrobe e dey akọ Europe
we dey akoton abrobe ekọ Europe the Bank of Ghana regulation say ukoton na unya foreign exchange na say u repatriate foreign exchange na eba
in the foreign currency no e dey Ghana
e say dey Ghana.
That's the regulation.
The Oka Kotono, except with the foreign exchange, about Ghana. Now, Uba, Yamal Reta, a year favorable, Ubesesa, into cities. What $1 now would you
see this?
Would you see this? The regulation said you must repatriate.
Where's the one to talk that approach and a year and a man and a girlfriend, Timo, and was any a pretty citizen.
It is our regulation. So, one to me, I am for so. Obianwa or the because of prefer say obe retain nisikano
in foreign
exchange. How would you foreign exchange grab ampa? So national kojikra.
Yes, my notice answer.
Argentina. Onkipu baby. Anna face no. So we shall say no. Say making sure say the existing regulations no enforce. Number 3.
And come here, dear, no, stabilizing the Ghanaian currency, against foreign currencies,
Yes.
A coin was what the Bafaswa, a what plan,
short term, medium term.
Third one.
We say we must limit the use of foreign exchange for local transactions. I don't know hotel. And so $2.
Huh?
They say, baby, I will go beyond. You see, foreign currency. Say, okay, say, utia foreign currency. Now, say, sika. Say, a buy 1 year to me regulating a buy no. Akodi hotel be, akodi baby, if it's a nipan or charge you are. Or no, or charge you foreign currency. Say, the utia manua. On kipunu in cities. Or kipunu in Sikano in foreign. It's ya dollarize it.
Your local expenditure
economy no. When it is against the law, so you cannot price your goods in foreign exchange.
Because South Africa, ya krana, woman $1 just one man a year, war musicano.
No, and I face soon. And now, Jose say, oh, yeah, Juma Ghana. Na say, Unya cities are. You are not supposed to change Sikanoa Uanyano into dollars. You are not supposed to be keeping a. Now, no, yes, sir. Any friend capital flight. So, say, Obia, any confidence in the economy. Until Obia, Sisani Sika into dollars.
What here, so the Kuranoa, near to collection in cities, no, aqua into dollars. Now, what would you
if you say, number one, say, once his son done and I, a bedroom baby, not quite to say. Nisika no kra no enye nyina so bia
e do so say after 9 ma enso so
enye nyina so bia and it's a rush for foreign exchange because of the demand for foreign exchange
it will say any existing laws no
and we say you enforce now you review some of the laws because they are effective
and am abetu a you betimi ama your currency no stable no
na de ehia pa no a eno no you cannot do without that. and he said you must export more.
Export more.
So why export to her? Why export to her? Unya foreign exchange, you know. Now we export no, you must also limit your imports. Say Ghana yetia open so stabilize your currency. If you don't take exports seriously, a better when your inflow of foreign exchange.
So strategy will GTP more.
Within maximum 1 year, you have no problem with currency depreciation bill.
So that is a GTP export-led strategy. No, you
any import substitution. Yeah, export and yeah, reduce imports. Now, for so far as below, you inquire, you better limit your more operation. Anna, the American so one more exporting in Nano, and say buy no more. The last but not the least, crowd is foreign companies never have no. One a right. Say almost dividends, no, almost transfer in foreign exchange because on the investment about foreign companies.
Or the discover invest in the sector here.
It is on your profiter or percent or they call back to baby or cover secondary free buy. The GIPC law no allows that. But the government and what you back. Not say companies, foreign companies, almost almost can a transfer which they allowed to do. Not say and what you about you need enough foreign exchange. I say you know much trust in negotiate.
It's a haircut.
So the I know your haircut. I know the acquired to say
negotiation
say
in times of emergency.
In times of emergency say we reschedule time one.
But you see can ako. Ya be ma di ako. E bi enye sesei.
Yes sesei.
Niama emergencies in tia. Yes enye sesei na de.
Because they say currency no year now within that interim now we keep we can see this rather than sending it abroad. Now economy is no strengthening. And now see this no so I buy grab me some incentive in people.
I just say e be cushion.
And no a champ on time. Or no your car say I'm not trying to see can cram me man fan ko bio. Na no or see it now say we see this we a foreign company and then say we see this no aka
Ghana anisa
na eno de na extreme where sa so obi aso nu oba
odin sika me bio
na mom no ono no ka say ya ma wo fa nko no o see this na aka no aka be transfer into dollars mo fa ndo afu
e was actually say
we find investing in the economy eno ti na during that time so nya that time nti adakabre sa no me ya
stable currency no
the next one now we say
lower taxes in the link of ebo home ma o Kenya
lower taxes and yet complicated crap economy be a high taxes the companies are what omani they cannot operate profitably now say and me tax ye 5%. Now say we increase it 30%. Now say you are reducing the competitive and now profit obey me. And low taxes there. And only the key to private sector development. And I say to bring down taxes, and you're very, 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 very clear. Number one, me say abolish the special import levy.
22 taxes na ye in a port no
I who first one say so buy want me and say we no me ya don't take refuge and comfort in taxes special import levy me say we will abolish it COVID-19
the hutua
levy I don't think that hutua no tell you about abolish you will be your friend
a disinfection Ghana Health Service.
I don't think I see a disinfection fee. You need a abolition. And I face you my case spare parts. A idea be a very important influence.
A spare parts a Ghana.
If you say no transport costs is the most important part of it.
Variable.
And I no say Alan be president and many me idea. Because of revenue, not young plan here in it. Within 2 years, we abolish all duties and taxes
on
and
spare parts.
On spare parts. Said the Bay Abema transport costs so above. And by the end of an Allen presidency, we will have the lowest tax regime in the whole of ECOWAS.
It is a bunch of normal year. You would not need to take refuge in a year a port where we talk about taxes near the ABR.
Yes, I need the idea. In Yakra say, and I first one say the way I'm calculating VAT, any national health insurance levy, any get fund, it amounts to double taxation. If it's a first, na nyina boom 2%, 2.5 NHIL debt fund 2.5 ukaboma 5%. Na say VAT na ka say 12.5%. And na nyina 17.5%. And now obi a ho han no afeso straightforward. And say ukoye service bia ye kan nyina bo mu import no mo ye de o na say ya charge o. Anna, Canofrata, a new regulation by say, or no, on calculating is say no, national health insurance levy 2.5 no, service no, you the 2.5 no become first. The NHI levy no, you the cat, if I say 100 cities, you the 2.5 no come one. Now, you feel you charge VAT also. You are near Sadi a debt fund. Asade to akan no ho na asade 12.5 no asade kan ho bio na asade charge
we
enti ubeka no na ye compounded just say afede I said we are double taxation
the way they say a person a merchant of Venice akwan na friend say Sherlock mo e na yes
enti enu say maka say eni the first na ye betwam ansa na
you just when you wo ye so no na revenue mobilization wa hwe ho
na o say
hienti na mo yes
so say because say untimi nye lower taxes without also improving on the revenue optimization.
Yes, it is say who say you betimi anya lower taxes duty so na up to 2 years no spare parts cry into duty and then you also talked about fixed rate be
now no say ukọ port say ya na ukọ you no ma wo duty a utua no say duty here 20%. Okofa mo one bag aba. Na mo duty here 20%. Ye calculate duty no in cedis. Na what ya? Na say we exchange rate no ekosoro me fan say kan na wo kra mo no na 13 cedis to $1. And now the kra mo no. Emo no e ba ye no na fe exchange rate no akodu 16. Into what calculation we are 13 cedis to $1. Into say 20% rate I so
yeah.
Who calculate CD value no at 13.
That's right.
I fed and one by yes
16.
Yes 16. It's enough in cedis no utia more.
I just say one budget for that.
One budget for that. And unti me say ma omo a certain fixed rate for a period of 6 months.
That is 180 days.
Until by the time or no air order no rate or the year order no over fix no for the next 6 months.
No him say within the 6 months no.
The normal. It affect the cost and the price of goods. Now say one year is idea or no dear or mind wo see the no and what they into a depreciate here. About no super calculating no dia to so. Enti or the to so
inflation. Inflation also and that just the low.
And also a cost. One day he cannot absorb that cost.
Yabi.
So who won't manage your currency? Now announcing we see due to obey
or no kind of worms in the
into obey just one no transfer. I know. Next ama no mabo e cost.
Ma yanko industrial transformation no
and they open cry they bet my boy on say a dozen inti there here pa obe hu one district one factory
also be review
is one
the implementation the word that you should you know review the implementation
framework one of the most progressive and innovative I say programs in industrialization.
We review the implementation framework. Now, what do you mean by that?
Now, kind to as we say, review the implementation framework of the 1 district 1 factory and provide additional financial resources. And only review. If you say, I then a campaign. Na manya adwene pa me say Ghana for to Abama NPP ya the 1 district 1 factory be ba e be ma adwuma ba na afei e be ma oman so akonani ye wie na afei ye ba ba mu a first budget ye 2017 apart from approval me the request call no for 1D1F budget, not even 1 cedi was dispersed to support 1D1F. In 2017.
Ya bought the 1D1F over. In first budget, in the see
not even 1 cedi. What's a budget? Say
public document.
Public document.
1 cedi cry and farmer.
1 cedi cry and farm and releasing to support 1 district 1 factory. They say I say. Over 200 applications. Abai obisi ono de oye na adwuma. Ana wo say abai wo say opese industries grow. Obi an ko industry wona yi. O say fine mate. Me ame de me busi ame kobo busi ana me de aye. Na abai wo say be ma me incentives. Say de be ya me kra no man de ba. Yes o na wo kra ma mi o. Duty no na e say wo ye free. Say de be ya membesibedi wana akoboka ana makofa aba na aban wo so be ama afa ba ya monfa incentive mon mame a edu parliamentar almost yempre almost 2 years 1D1F companies almost 2 years now in parliament egu a NPP for mo kra no mo majority matna ho ama NDC for any mark akabo montimi and passing 1D1 companies as I speak now.
And the PFI is no way. As
a PFI is there. Oh no there. 1 district 1 factory no. Nya ono no obo busia. Tio. Adakabre me pese osi factory wo besiase. Woti won wo ye wadwuma. Ana ban bebo de ro se obi kosi factory na mabu
attention.
Adam kosi factory na mabu am. If say wo de
Nyuma
wodi adwuma beba nti equipment na wodi beba no untwa duty na say kame de madwuma yi nkame tuwe kame okay na saban so beboa me dia me kwa kobo busia e wo Ghana Commercial Bank enya say free o me kobo busia
at a reduced interest rate
at a reduced interest rate aban say wo kokra equipment ba enu no odi duty no ebechew afei what di mra no so akokra no man yedru ha na usi duty na afei 1 district 1 factory companies o mutuan afei ko parliamentar mo say mumpre for almost 2 years I just say na menti say na say NPP for mo program I just say munim say enu na mo ebua mo a mo de kwaya campaign matimi atrawa ama akwadu parliament 2 years yes you mo approve
anke ye nya na kakwadwo chemate nke de nkade beba betena abadwu anum sa ye miaw
enti wo de kwaso
enti wei NHS ye hunu ne sei no afe
enti one of no na make say salam be president nam say me amedi enhu adwene bae na menim say de betimi ayama na ye ane mabua ama ya mo kra
wudu sika be hye mo e go wudu sika be hye ma faso be de benya
faso Ghana ane be create human afesu na be me ya bia nwuma bebre say 1 district 1 factory koso a obi hu say obi anu obi free ne kra say so obi pa adwuma e won kra na kumas e say ba bia apeja now it was the most popular program in Ghana so because for once no na quiet is they are buying kai so metme di super dia nanye obi ankoye factory na afeye miebie nwuma na ono soso no if is a trading there ebedu ba bi no na akoye say u trade ya na edu ba bi a the Lebanese in India foi so say no mo start with trading
afebra be hwe mame boosting local production and productivity, no, and at least no say 1D, 1F, no implementation.
Ghana, they say the only commodity you produce or export, no, in significant quantities, no, cocoa. For over 100 years, you ain't mean anything extraordinary apart from cocoa. You export. And I say, so yes, sir, the economy will never grow. And we'll be also checking on that. Say ye be before. Intimacy would diversify and expand the economy. Yet the 10 new sectors, industries about the count. Back on the vehicle assembly, any component manufacturing. Back on any garment and industry. When we say cry a friend Bangladesh, every year, Omunya $30 billion. And $1
billion.
$30 billion every year. So more farm no market, no more cotton America. $30 billion every year.
And look at now. What say the garments and textiles? No, what me go to global market? I see the global market for garments and textiles is estimated at 1.5 trillion. Ghana has comparative advantage in this sector due to the availability of skilled and relatively cheap labor, as well as significant opportunity in producing high-grade cotton, which is the basic raw material for the sector.
And it's a Ghana. Say, you see, any shoe crampo. You can say, "Fede, you be pam tadie, edi akọ abrochire."
That's the
I just say when you no be 30 billion.
Now when wait me and say,
now when you move 20 billion crampo.
What is doing to sports?
20 billion crampo, 20 billion a year just from export of garments. She say cocoa and my more than $2 billion. Cocoa and my more than $2 billion. Within 1 year, Ghana, you bet me export to garments and textiles worth 20 billion. 10 times within 1.5 years.
Garment and textiles.
I say no my catch away. I said for time from start here. And I saw you own him. And I said, yeah, and one more say, and to me, it was our nominee. Young
pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceuticals.
The global market for pharmaceuticals is estimated at 1.48 trillion US dollars. Ghana currently imports about 70% of its pharmaceutical requirements. There are therefore significant opportunities for both import substitution and exports in this sector.
Yeah. So we import to 70% of Unro. Ghana, you use to. Now, I say, me a buying bois pharmaceutical industry now. Two things will happen. Share export market potential 1.3 global. It would the import the emphasis say, you better turn your normal Africa and one. AFCFT and Intino, you better not turn normal one. Say, you cry, you less than $10 billion a year. You cry.
You bet me a year, you mean yourself, Ghana.
Because you are currently importing 70%. Into your cry no pono. Would you say produce 70%, now import only 30%? Can you imagine the trade? And after your companies, you usha NS chemists. Kinafama. Efa painting your friend
Efa Ponsa.
Empretech, Omunya, Empretech for. I'm training you on 1990s.
Tobinco was one money.
Tobinco, or champion. Tobinco said you want to see a born home. Said a buying castle, ye buona. Says he approaches 70% of pharmaceuticals. Between Tobinco, any NS Cammage, Kinafama, any Efa Ayi, Anna. India, Kama, Ado,
Miss Ado,
Macado, Kosha factory was here.
Oh,
Anna, India Niba, who's Famanova, and no head life sciences.
Yes,
these companies are buying one. We can increase.
Petrochemicals.
The
global market for the global market for petrochemical products is estimated at 623 billion. Ghana currently produces crude oil and gas in commercial quantities, and the export same with no value addition.
yenya value addition bia adenti na yetu oil yenya gas na yentimi add value na mistake other countries are omutu oil yeah no also the same mistake
the Dutch disease and unti ada kabre me say industrial transformation will diversify the economy but any petrochemical say ye kasi ye add value to oil and gas ye benya number 1 fertilizer we say no gas ye benya plastics when you say plastics ye free oil and gas oh sir
plastic omo ye plastic
I did
no a product from adding value to it and a bitumen ye dey akwan when you say free oil and gas
ye plus here
free oil and gas ti say ye to be adding value to kerosene diesel super no ye craning just ye be produce one premix and you bet me premix say
integrated bauxite and aluminium 10 anchor industries strategic anchor industries here
and
bauxite and aluminium
yes na say ultimi produce wow aluminium from bauxite now ultimi produce wow steel from iron now produce wow plastics from oil and gas or the value not just say you have all the components which we manufacture car let me count you say and nunti na say me the vehicle assembly buyer
is that no man does so na yatutum and nunti no so be your time with Alan no aye na ma kwa chirechiremu na just afa no Alan prime time and so akwa kan emfantefo brofo was in
our papa the master America your martin
oye as in the global market for industrial salt is estimated at $15 billion. Ghana is one of the few African countries with industrial salt deposits.
Adenti enchini ye tu enchini keke eno see a problem tio when you say who pese oil and gas who pese to oil industrial salt is one of the materials ubetimi unia untimi ntu eti nya enu nko ampo industrial salt dey utimi ton wo wiase ba bia ana no so o add value so enu ema caustic soda ema so many other things ubetimi ede ama o mine akoso
Ghana pa enti industrial salt no esomfa so de na chire no miamra mehwe was a vegetable oil and fats and industrial starch
palm oil and then
abeno
oil palm
oil global market for vegetable oil and fats and industrial starch is estimated at $540 billion. These products are very important raw materials for a variety of industrial manufacturing processes, including but not limited to the food processing sector, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, garments and textiles, and adhesives.
Sure, Malaysia every year almost $20 billion. $20 billion free Africa West $20 billion. Now say yen ye won sasi na yen mmehu adwuma ye say yen nya kra na yen nya 10 billion from oil palm adwuma kwa. Can you imagine the impact? Say ukra only 2 billion from your exports from cocoa. Now say ubetime nya 10 billion from mmehu adwuma kwa. Dey nya to oye. Dey nya to is as o nipa ay ready so menya adwuma kwa dey ba kra mpo no echen. Enti sa oil is a wo add value and no so na cosmetics mo onim say ayi palm
I better adwene adwongo ne ade nyina
no the base material for cosmetics and even for pharmaceuticals kra no so and no so nyina ewom ana ade no kra no po akwa it say there are so many food preparations and no ubetimi ayusu now when you say carnation milk way wonum carnation milk eya wo say
full cream milk
full cream milk
and you be there na promote am no
we be just that nantwie
no fu na wo no yen so
no I don't know about 40% of it vegetable oil palm oil extraction and on the base no na ye de yi kakra from ana wonu ma
and that's about to can you imagine
we don't passion we don't shake vegetable oil extract
wey ya ne tete ho
o we di churches
and you say team papa I love this ya ne ala gbeje drama train na twetwe nkomo yi o great transformation plan
mumbu abere mo fa nya hwe
abere fa nya hwe no Dr. Hilal Man was say aye beer
na de ehun kra wo mu say starch na ka ho
that's what starch no
banchia ye twi starch ye fa nya hwe
banchia ye want me anua no
we me see wonim say every tablet ah we nu bia no starch na
and that's and ye dro no kakra bi
me say enu ni
paracetamol cry ye no no
me say starch a drop ye say starch ni mo entimi mind na ye kan starch so dia cassava starch me di bag ana no ye better than starch bia abrofo America ni ade no nyina
no man from Switzerland and farmer was it Nestle
me starch wo adwuma no Nestle for na dem come despite bisa no time me start here na come despite need for ye so no kra every
Thailand
me di industrial starch factory ba ha je bisa come despite
one
crabio na de no one so edi ho dance say de na me ye no ha no better in quality
na ma need fufu ni so eso say twan
you table adhesive you know
ni nyina
ni nyina start
ya baji brand ya tumi aba kan yensan konkohwe we say economic cluster no ya hwe the microeconomy ya hwe the industrial transformation ya call the new agricultural revolution agric and what the Michael no
say agriculture the problem you work with agriculture and say the production no no once it is only based on small scale farming entimi nkonanim technology is still low until the first say we must increase agricultural production small scale farming there na me anim dey untimi ka say utwam anu kwa possible then in addition to smallholder farming they say I see etimi into large scale agricultural farming and no and a bit difference number now to go into large scale agricultural farming you say you are there be a friend agro parks see I can say large scale farming yes we do can try na ye then formula be na we dey be and you see a big create agro parks you can grow park we are call we say ya asase be 10,000 hectares irrigation wo ho processing facilities wo ho and sana packaging eso wo ho and sana marketing channels no so it in that agro park no everything you need input supplies
one-stop shop
input supplies yiba omo me chemicals so ewo omo ayi wo ho tinay say aye one-stop agro processing enclave na eno na be change our agriculture any revolution
agriculture and new revolution about 5 northern regions of northern savannah upper east upper west
the
northeast
food basket of West Africa or Ghana
the food basket of West Africa
yes
the 5 northern regions
yes to usha grains any tubers grains any tubers sa formula media bay say na me madom na Ghana for vote mamia agro parks be all over the place but the concentration will be
in the 5 northern regions.
Then in other regions.
But then the main concentration
will be in no. Walugu Dam no. Ya titi mu a atwehwere ewe entimi.
And kasa tentinin.
Walugu Dam no. I can tell you say there are investors all over the world. Say abanje tu mu say ye ni sika e be nya say kwakwa bobusia. Okọ bobusia ye Walugu Dam ayeden. come up with about ma obia wo sika no mano the right incentives this thing will be completed within maximum 2 years now say wo pese wo ye agriculture we hear the all these facilities are making there in the agro parks no there then sir Palugu Dam no will be a very big asset yeah my private investors me engine tire because you ntimi nye yeah mo mbram form sika mbram omo kura na wo hu nimde no na omo mra meye na omo ya agro parks no wono se wo twi nsuo because oye canal mawa so say irrigation nti oye canal mawa from dam no a bawo agro park or direct
agric engineers dey dey
hope see no person afa dey oja politics no ko ya okọ agro park wa 10,000 acres no opemu 100 acres ye twama no a oni se owo nsuo wo fertilizer owo bibia wo ho owie so there's a processing plant wa nya fe na
oye na kmari nyina na chesa na yire so to nwum ku na so na chesa akwai wa businessman I don't know na we won sim free so ho ma ba bia bia Bono East na ahafo na Western North so be yeden
on say Bono East ahafo massacre eyi bia mo say on say ho cashew ye ni sa three crops no omo de ho na aho di drapa enti Bono East Bono ahafo and also and the band
and Western North
I know the new West African hub for
three crops
and processing. That's say omo dua keke but processing so na nyina so ebeko export
because she said there Desmond aye no emem
no say me say cashew nkuampo wo hwe Indians a omni nanum croatia
eno cashew brandy pa say cashew brandy
unum cashew brandy na be say
Ghana say ya wade
it just Ghana a problem ni say
oti region wa ye hodan
o say oti no omni volta no
nsuo
no water lake no inland fishing and aquaculture so aban ekavu omo na omo the right na so we nya aban na ekoyo but incentives ye de be mo and say so be who say water region and then Ochi region inland fishing the whole West Africa I want to be help
great afa no individuals operation own a farm
very once a champion the BB by was operation feed yourself. Now the impact in the only thing I just say, Emma not quite to say, a so take a cran say or say operation feed yourself. And you also donadi operation feed yourself. And
now we'll talk about
and you all say, nah, if I do na if you are if you feature you be a kakra if you say operation feed yourself donadi. Now, wait there, you say we can go beyond that. Oh, how effective operation video? Tell me, I'm going beyond operation feed yourself. Me say operation own your own farm. Na say Ghana for nyina me ba encourage omo ama omo bosiane no ma omo betimi there obia obenya ne commercial farm. Because since I see ebu na wona na agya wasase bi say wo tinkran. Be see as in sase ebu what me yan hwe
I can tell you aye torchia awukuase ensamani mu
own your own farm na no say ban na your campaign say dey operation feed yourself so bia e di na dwene be ko ho adenti na wote wona sabi wusi ahia wo abra wasase wona aban wo so be bo awia say dey me dey one day one for buy here ankofo so mu operation own your own farm ana farm for life.
Farm for life.
And then it's a farm for life. No, dear. There's a fair would ye? Yes, I will as a side business. So,
is it what you know?
Is it what you know? Oh, farm for life.
The school for Colano where?
And the school for Colano, so was the first. Secondary schools, you know. I'm a grandma woman. It's no one says, baby. Now, in Yania, no more to be produced. School. And look at me for you. Says, I didn't acquire. Was a name Colano. And the Anucran with the ID.
A Greek master, know what presec. Onukroya bebe district best farmer. Or your Greek master ever presec. And obey district best farmer. Ever a pomo.
You see, and say no, sir, mass participation in agriculture. That's the key. Say you per se agricultural revolution. There has to be mass participation. eno ana eno schools no so no unsa se eda ho ni na aban bebo mo na omatimi
e de kwekwe wanchi farm institute
na face so yes na face so churches no
any sorry ahodo no okọ eye asori ya nitiwo osiamu edu say asori no Sabia church
yes
ura abekwa ase ohwe kokko Sabia church edu say wado no ho
enti eno no special program aban ebeboa churches no ama omo etimi aye commercial farming if you say si etimi ye commercial farming production cost and a price of
so ba
form say food prices ba form inflation ba form because the biggest cause of inflation in Ghana food inflation
e de bomode we say unuanom no a one fasefo no a mo Joy FM no Raymond akwa no mo ne Winston no mo ne anopai dokuna mo kota yesi mo ntomeko ene kasa tentene no Winston ni nuanom mo kota dokuna ni yesi mo ntomeko ene kasa tentene na ye yantias anopai
Winston ya no fasu
enti afa mi enhwe na osi agricultural marketing and distribution
na what me ema agriculture production kosra na uni I say distribution and marketing mechanism na je who produce akeke but kwa bi no de be ye enti the solution is say once the first the food distribution system be by I say
food distribution corporation
Ghana Food Distribution Corporation
almost silos and no man akese North Industrial Area
the principle was good but nanya abain na so ye enti the me can say because we expand agricultural production, we have to introduce private sector marketing companies. Enti ene district biano ye be license nipa baako anamienu na omuna ye the food distribution and marketing companies.
We are hene krada tutuntuma ya license o.
Ya license o enti eno no de na ye say wo de ni say nnuane a you produce a whole promo nyina aban beboa enti na ye na che say trucks yi aban ama work and pay say 10 trucks una auto nnuane 10 trucks kra na ya ma work and pay we atete no wo de ni say wo be ko farm to farm na wakwa evacuate aduane na wo de aba market center enti de wo be bia no your marketer wo de ko enti esa middleman no a omo timi ema food prices here you know na say I say aban enya ekwan bi a ode bua private sector ana oma yesa food distribution and food marketing. Now the beauty of it is say obi a aban ebua wo then there will be no incentive say ube create a year for profiteering
because aban no ebua eti sanya sabi abai samu di yankade
nakade ana fesu so enya ba eba market wa e just a normal bo no aba form because transportation cost no aban abua wo economy ni nyina afei ya hihye bibia ya spare parts ya free so afei trucks ya be no Ghana ha eti na je say bibia sisi ani
okay
but you make what
Matthias enti esi ano preface to a great transformation plan yeah and economy no it is a economy no nko akura ani o
economy nko ani o
eno so ne yedi sie yo it register me gibre na wasan abetra because yanko other areas because under the economy na ehwe microeconomy
tourism grand kind
apena me cheta u be ka tourism na me what 3 questions bi am de agu ho no mo a I just say it comes under other sectors but the na ya wabetra say yentimi nko ho but you may have to comment on say it yanhwe tourism na just say as the last say you
so Kenya say tourism is one of the leading sectors. Kenya. Now Ghana, the idea is
40 something counties.
Yes.
Now, 3 counties and tourism. Now,
the idea is we share tourism infrastructure. A work Ghana. Now, your potential, not just say you intimi do baby. But when you so idea who say Ghana will become the tourism destination for the whole of West Africa. Now, I know say beba so na tourist infrastructure. Can you imagine say out of the 42 heritage sites UNESCO, United Nations identify
the whole world.
The whole world 42 historical sites are just a reason and no a year historical sites as will be a question. 32 were
Ghana. 42 the whole world.
32 were Ghana.
UNESCO.
Yes.
A certified.
32 then only forts and castles.
Forts and castles, colonial relics.
Colonial relics. It is a by mistake in it.
And then of the 32 no crano, they moved 3 a UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Our Ghana.
And your colonial relics and the World Heritage
Site.
Oh, it say no, say yentimi amfa private capital. Memoir tourist sites yentimi develop. And no mistake.
It will say air carrier services as an instrument for promoting tourism.
Because we need national carrier. And now a carrier, we need private sector. Be able to flag, no, private. Say, and run airline. It doesn't mean say a banana.
That's what me and carrier be based in Ghana.
Based in Ghana, but a
privately run.
I say our near idea.
A private, but you're based in Ghana. It will be me encourage to talk about funding and financing of tourism.
Yes.
You bet me and your
no say a home-based carrier. Obi a person what Ghana did normal ye can once no say Ghana is the place to go. Now say nya friend wo kofa playing fufuro nya kosi ni baby ansa na we are akoto so baby baby now say wo national carrier no etimi epike eyi from different places now so omo
so na just why you're branding and marketing also so
why branding and marketing because say if we can brand Ghana well as a tourist destination say one of the programs and I say Ghana is going to become the Mecca for peoples of black descent.
Just say,
the Mecca
from Mecca,
yes.
What in North America, South America, not just or a black descent.
Now you say people of black descent, you know. If you are Brazil, Colombia, India, Grobenya.
That's just Ghana, that's what
Mecca, the Mecca of people of.
We know that he went to a disco. It's na akasa creative industry.
Creative industry. The omasama bobo kra. So we share the me fan say the capabilities, any capacities, any the innovation potential of your artists here. Hey, you say yentimi mo omasama because even omo copyright you can only be boss.
That's
what they started saying. One say, your artist in your DNA, and you are mucha. As you see a woman near the entity, Omunia and I saw me a Jumagu. Let me see. Copyright administration, the way on Befaso, and your maximum benefit.
From folklore.
When him say, there's a Ghanaian, small boy. 40-something oko achimata owie na oni nam ha na obo ha life for yes I dey ana onya kwan kopie America say no he is one of the biggest stars when him say watibi aye enwom any film ama watibi Oprah Winfrey Quincy Jones any back on your friend Steven Spielberg. The 3 top what you combine woman ama or no and a co-director or no the film. Let me say the potential young boy are making as a woolly with their one what me obio free Ghana aquateraboj what me color purple number 2 ama what me Oprah Winfrey Quincy Jones, any Steven Spielberg, woman partners, co-partners.
Oh,
Potential work.
and the opera for your wolf has a Abraham way. Near no. Until now, many we a quick comment on developing the skills of the tourism sector.
Yeah, I don't say per se, who Ghana be tourist destination. The service sector. Until normal be woha, a training be woha, a see a demawa, uko hotel. Na yes, uko tourist sites in the tour guides in the they have to be properly trained. So open so world class tourist destination. The kind of training you need government to support the establishment of that facility.
Can we are told say or the BRICS ambassador. Right. And it is here na 3 questions be ababa and the different saying
clusters
clusters
yan kan wanse amanfo na tutu ba say bisanwe
because you ready say enipa ni bi be kwa wia ideas ya ka say wo ma nanu me ne da nopa be this will be gas be the free port beba na so say we chere mate aka da
what can it then they say
oh ade ya can it this time no
for say
pay you register to. Now, there is this question from a high-profile personality. Being here as a middle income earners, no, you pen now be address or more address below them. So now yenya address no. And this question he wants me to ask you. Or say I should ask you a question on how to eradicate or stem corruption. And what would you want to do with Article 71 office holders?
Corruption is it was a Bible. It's a year now. And
the gospel according to first John and second John.
So I think what you I would say a no governance cluster now. The first one on corruption. First one, corruption. The more the year. Corruption there. So we say corruption. So even yet we save even 10% of the call into corruption. Again, yes, I call IMF. Now corruption who was here. Oh, in
fact, I know the first of the governance cluster. Governance cluster put 1, 2, 3, up to 15. Japan saying the gospel according to second John.
Now, is that what John? You see, you need to demonstrate leadership. Just say, wait, Maka say, Nipa idiot. What's in the book say? Corruption there. It being funny so.
Are you demonstrable?
Demonstrable, because I didn't want leadership.
And mechanics are
no, it's not just about you. The people around you, any political appointees. It's a set who making sure say there's zero tolerance for corruption.
Yes.
Say on Ghana, the way
you true zero tolerance.
So being young who say point down who can create.
You
say won't quite na obi abeyebi. Send them kind.
We are saying now who
I'm telling me Mr. People say who copy konya who tweet say I've never been corrupt. And I will never be corrupt.
Your period with John Kufuor, your period with Nana,
and that's the starting point. Name and what you know. What kind of sacrano and for base or move room? What kind of sample? It is so Sisiaquino. The way between Sisiaquino, a legislation. And a decline. Emrano, Yashim, and noon a bit me aboa. Now, say, Emrano Bebre. I had to say, Obiaso delivered corruption. Office of the Special Prosecutor, corruption, Siraj, almost corruption, Yoko so corruption. Unless say we have one enabling legislation. I just say, no, and a corruption. We cannot go far. And not thing I may say.
It is a hard farming. At least what can be.
Okay.
There will be more time. Now, the second one would be the Special Economic Zone in the Asante region. 5,000 acres of land for what?
So say, we tema. Say, you need any enclave bia wa Ghana. ubetimi aye mass industrialization. And I'm me put am there see man say Ghana will become the new manufacturing hub for
West Africa. Africa nyina.
For Africa. One say China, the entire China yeah China.
China nyina no.
Every time there transformatively the big buy more can say China will become the manufacturing hub of the world.
Oh.
So who needs a vision now? It ain't gonna happen.
That shall happen.
That shall happen.
Okay, I say
1989 year.
89 yeah.
Was say 1989.
Late 80s.
Late 80s.
No, what's saying?
And was say China will become the manufacturing hub for the world. And no any say who starting as a vision person who started the policies. Any programs a bit me am achieve. It may manya kasano. Me made president to cry. Me too one among that.
Tell us more.
Say you tema free any industrial hub bia. You can become the manufacturing hub of Africa. Abra wuni sa hub no. Ana me say Osha Ashanti regional. And on connect all the regions in Ghana. Eastern Ebewie ho. Central part Ebewie ho. Ana Greater Accra Ubefa Ebewie ho. And some 5 northern regions in the transit corridor to 5 northern in western north to Ebewie ho. Until out of the 16 regions, about 10 of them in Ebewie ho.
Yes.
Until Ehon created this new industrial city for Ghana and for Africa.
Hey.
Now, no, Anna say real line wa aka room yentimi no. Say woni volume eba that area we are no about real line.
On Thursday, January 12, 2023, before Santehine, now only Korean officials, only World Bank officials,
if you say me can say we abai na edi vision abai nyomuna omuniska about confesca way. Name one pay private investors, big time private, because $1 billion investment. Name private investors, or the Sikaba, when you say development partner, World Bank, the idea no, taking it serious. Now, for a woman who say a stamp of approval. Timia me call ma World Bank, they call make a case. No one can say this is going to change Ghana. Anna almost a pair, $30 million. Say, young fan chassis. Na yenye initial infrastructure na eno na bet me attract investors na bem ana me South Korea prime minister so eno a me ya ana o ka say ya wo Korea South Korea wo sika wo de chiche o mo de Ghana grant na mom ala de wo kan ide ehon de ma ya ma Korea ebe Korea no ebiri de wokai enti omo so ama $100 million a omo program se make omo ye ho enkrata say eno kra invest private we mu de be infrastructure eno ana investors say ye nu ba bia kra investors omo ni abre say
o minister ana wono ano wa kra president say me a me church krata na me kope we yaba na president ne man to me say okay kope bra me hwe and wako World Bank and yes gi 30 million fa kwasha ase kakra and wako Korea and yes gi 100 million ye ho adwuma say fa kwasha ase kakra na no be attract foreign investors
na fe omo aba enti ye say wo be hwe no air condition ni electronic appliance ye nyina no already na see kakra bi o ho nyina be the new assembly and manufacturing ewo
Kunya baby jina dia.
Na me ma hihye bia na so
Bible no.
Na chese na dey na 2 major parties. Matna be 32 years. Aka sisi ngo kope to me. Money plan. Avena manifesto committee.
Manifesto committee 300 members of the manifesto committee. Ops ya do ye 119 aka ho awo.
Oh for plan la. We plan nya manifesto.
Nya manifesto di eka. Then finally, benefits of African Continental Free Trade Agreement after.
So then I say, just me plan my ya to 200. She said, "Nyame, it me my dream say that she be also transformation. I'm starting car transformation, and you know, me want to go on me economics.
Also economics nibi.
Oh, School of Economics.
Sir, I'm going to
me call you the gone 1973. 76. Me dissertation am here. The transformation and structure of the Ghanaian economy.
When you third class.
Sure. Me say transformation and structure of the Ghanaian economy. Oh, and he said, "Oh, share we are." Now say, "Obi, even in my school days."
And now, Shasi.
Now make about structural transformation of the Ghanaian economy. My dissertation, my dissertation, you know, my dissertation. Man, be Abu, even deputy governor, by you know. My name is supervisor.
Ishahaku,
deputy. Oh, where's 76?
Sir,
mommy, hey, for my dissertation.
What defend the BBA?
The different the transformation of the Ghana. Structure to Omiya student.
And I just what that cross is at the
AFCFT na make. Idea man meaning that say Ghana the person transformer we produce no we are cotton way. The Ghana market is. Ti menya kwanya UN frame say Africa ye dwedie no kra no ye hu so. Nkruma say ye pe African Union. Now, when your political freedom, na wuni marketer, a kabomu, over no what me
right.
And Tion said, I was the chief architect of South African Continental Free Trade Area.
Right.
I say, Edma me ye etmia Ghana Africa boom. As I say, our market. And then I'm Mrs. Shire, I'm a President Kufuor so about Bemo say Alan, Minister for Trade. Nice idea, me
and now.
Asabe talk me now so enti buy na me say ade my young adwuma na say ye pe headquarters for African Continental Free Trade Area me campaign dia ba
na Kwame Nkrumah boa for AU ni ade nyina no AU no eni omo office bia esa wo Ghana
na chese aye bregu ti headquarters ni there and the nature says,
Yasa for Maso Abaso, Papa,
and I know, minister, our cabinet, or 2 Jerry Rollins, woman, I mean, mobilize you almost, yet to me, oh, and I am minister. All that time, I make me, you know, and that's a woo you weighing now. Never know your president a busy saying. And you tell us, I did about it, and no, that's all your favorite food, sandwiches, nade. Sandwiches,
aye,
hey. I know before friend I come.
Aye, Alan per sandwiches. Only the money be. I can't never find one in home. Maybe I'm a barrier. Huh? And in your draw for it. Barrier and in your draw for it. Okay. Empress, yeah, gifty. Gifty adoye. Or no baba benoa. Barrier. Any nyadwa froye. Who bet me aye? Oh, no, me idea. I just want to say, be cry, right now, and come be a chef. Sounds a me cassava hat. Na me car. Na se minim se me wonjina so retira meka. Won mariane no a.
Se me se me ya. Wo ka se Alan na wonya chef.
Sir. Comment vous appelez-vous?
Je. Où va ça nous ka French?
Comment vous appelez-vous?
Où va ça nous ka French? C'est vrai? C'est vrai? Tu me demandes sa question?
I hope so way.
Il faut que vous essayiez d'enseigner après de parler.
Hey,
vous y
working French and I say, I love this man.
I will over Bible me.
Quite interesting speaking with you. And I mean the whole team at Dawasi.
Oh, yeah,
each time Biano, we see Abontia, Utimi. Year market a year neat 100.9 FM. Notwithstanding, say, 1 year was strong alliance, no, a fan so no, be a yes, so my opportunity. I might make myself. It will find out.
Made I say, Mr. Ghana for you and the same. Mwana do, says Ghana. The code you be a obedi or man enim. NDC ni NPP. O matna ba mu 32 years. Jombe nyina ye hu. Bibi fufuro ni bia ni hwa. O metima ba ya ye hu ye mo chance mo ye. The Ghana for do nyina say we want change. Now you want change na dey wan na okofara ba. enti wonam na wodi wasoto foma de nkofo ka nyina ni se yempa ndc yempa NPP na se ala no se onu a watena mu da yenim de oyeye no a osisesi wo free onu abepra kodja so onu mo beba dia anya na enyu se Ghana yenya our new president enti de na how man say na ala yenim se wo ayentenka so beba mo bijina fidu aka se ala no oba pa oba ebi mu twa mo say wo be sane obeso obese obi adwuma ana se okoye me kingmaker amida ko nyam dem fata me ana say dem me ya ma famu a me che say nyame aboa me a chenchire mi na se me koye adwuma se wo ye se wo ye bi keke dabi na Ghana for dodo na no on say wo mo style bi a very difficult to read them. On say ni padu don say adem bra aye nto aba. So woni sa.
Okay kan sa.
Na say no. Eye 7 December no. So almost say Alan so be gina nko ade a. Obehu de be si wo Ghana ha say.
Na no manya ni da so bi.
Wo mo nkasa. Na emom no.
Alan be gina nko ade.
Bi be si. Alan be gina nko ade a. E bi say onya me ya ikura ode ne plan ato.
Ai.
Plan is what me say. Problems and nipa come was semina baby or solution or
the gospel according to the 5th John
and I yes work and yet manifesto promise what tremu bibia kwan we fa so aye obey say adwuma
almost the
dey aseda
yes
yes awurade say onu so de ni hira na masra Ghana for so say emre nudu a ommo michi no no mo kai me
na duro bi anka dem ami enko yiwa ni mu free eye ballot paper no so na fe obi ogo
akwan dey fast na be yimi dia free mu oh na akwan ti say on so obi a won kasa pia nipa ennim say sa ye betimi yimi ti free pa oh god what to change some more what to change some
yapon ni nyina de say yes so ye da wase pa nyame nshiraw
amen
we will continue to propagate the gospel according to Alan nyame nka ho opsi ado yes so special duties ya no ada na se amayen why
say
ano ane ekura ye ya nyame nshiraw